Hi, I'm Dave.
Hi, I'm Robin.
Welcome
to Schoolwide Download.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our very first episode of Schoolwide Download, the podcast where we keep it real about what's actually happening in the classroom when it comes to ed tech.
So we're extremely excited that you are here. It is back to school season, new shoes, new backpacks, new notebooks, and the age-old problem that some of us teachers have, 10,000 tabs opened up on our desktops. But
yes.
Hey, that's the norm.
I mean, I'm looking at both of our screens and we have a million tabs open, so it's real.
It is.
But today we're zooming in on something a little different. We're going to talk about building student relationships. So actually getting to know your students during those first few days of school. It's really important.
Yeah, it's absolutely essential right out of the chute. And I know we talk about this all the time as we have different responsibilities with content, and there's test scores and there's data to collect. All extremely important, but we need to make sure that we establish that relationship first.
Yeah.
Because all of those things, you'll be more impactful. I truly believe the scores will be improved upon if you don't do this. Build trust, establish relationships, find out what makes your students tick.
Yeah. So before diving into that curriculum, classroom management, all of those things are important and needed, but all of it will fall into place if you build relationships. So we've put together some tech-savvy tools to help with just that, from Google Forms to Book Creator to Scratch animations, digital quilts. We've got you covered. So we're going to go through and kind of share some of these that are going to help build relationships.
Strengthen those connections and get learning off to a quick start.
Yeah, great. So Dave, back to school season. Teachers are setting up classrooms, putting up bulletin boards, organizing, finalizing those lesson plans. But again, one of the first things they need to do is build relationships.
Absolutely. You know, the expectations, you learn their names, you teach them how to type in the code into the cafeteria, all important, all essential things that they have to know. But just, if not more importantly, what are they interested in? What are they passionate about? Maybe even sometimes what little quirks do they have? What actually motivates these kids? Because I'm a firm believer that time invested in that is going to pay off with all the other measurables that we're expected to track.
And that's where tech can make it a little bit easier. We can use tech-savvy tools to help us build these relationships, keep it engaging for the students, and just kind of set the tone for the year.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So should we start looking at some specifics?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do
So
it.
let me go first. So an oldie but a goodie is the classic Google form. And a great way that you can utilize a Google form is to do a student interest survey. So as you go about the expectations that you have of yourself to collect certain pieces of data, let's also find out about what makes them tick, what they like, what did they do with their time off. So fun things mixed in with the necessary. Use a Google form as a student interest survey.
Yeah, and we usually think of Google Forms as using it like with teachers or with your professional, with your administrative team, things like that. But using it with students is a little different. I love the idea. It collects great data, things that you can keep throughout the year, always reference back. Thinking of that OTES evaluation, that's an interest survey is a good way to say, yes, I got to know my student. So that's a good one. And it's easy to use. Most people are pretty familiar with Google Forms.
Absolutely. And yes, it's, you know, you already probably have their date of birth, so you know when to say happy birthday, but it's also nice to know, are they in the show choir? Are they on the football team? Are they in a certain club that maybe once again, when you see them on a Monday, how did it go over the weekend? That goes a long way.
It does. It does. All right. Well, the next one we're going to talk about is all about me posters. Now, I remember ordering these paper copies and the kids would color it and it would tell all about themselves. But now we can do a digital version of that, which is pretty cool. So it's the same idea, the All About Me poster, but instead you are going to use Google Drawings to create this poster and then you can print them out and display them.
Yeah. And if, you know, a lot of times maybe a student's not comfortable, they'll feel a little awkward talking about a math problem or a science, issue, but they're a lot more comfortable talking about themselves. If it's somebody that you know, that's going to be a source of anxiety. Maybe it's start with display before you ask them to talk about it. For those kids that have absolutely no problem talking, and so the visual aspect, and it takes a little bit of pressure off public presentation and hopefully sets them up for other things throughout the semester.
I also think it helps prepare them for that presentation mode too.
Yep.
Think about as they're getting older, they're going to get into that where they're presenting, and that gives them the opportunity to build something about themselves, and then you could have them share it in class, and that's for all ages.
And as a secondary teacher, as we enter into this, because I shouldn't even say enter anymore. We are in this AI space now.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest workarounds for academic honesty is present on it now.
Yeah.
I don't need a paper.
Right.
I want you to present on it. So set them up for that. Absolutely.
That's a good one.
All right. The next one is one of my favorites. I love unboxing videos.
I had to look this up. I didn't know what this was.
What do you think people were punching each other?
I don't know. I didn't understand what it was. I really was confused. But go ahead and explain it to us.
No, unboxing videos, I absolutely love them. So if you're unfamiliar with what an unboxing video is, it can literally be anything that you take it out of the box because you just got it from Amazon or you just picked it up at the store, and you're essentially videotaping and narrating what it is that you're taking out, how you put it together, maybe how you use it. However, in this capacity, we're putting it into an academic setting. So it's an opportunity for a student to film themselves narrating or showing or demonstrating something kind of in the style of an unboxing.
So they're going to build the box.
They could.
Of things it's kind of like the All About Me poster, but in a box, and that you're going to be opening up. Okay.
And sometimes there's a physical element to it. So hypothetically, you're studying plate tectonics. Here's the different types of fold. I mean, they could literally, that could be in their box and they're showing how it works. I mean, it could be anything.
I'm pretty sure my daughter probably watches these on YouTube.
I can assure you.
Yeah. Okay. I need to ask her about
watches
it.
These. Yes.
I do like it because if you do have a student that's shy and that doesn't want to share too much, this might be a way for them to build it. And it could be the teacher. Could the teacher just be looking through the box to get to know the student, or does it always have to be presented? Okay.
This could be done as a screencast. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you could do it.
I like that one. All right. Good. All right. So our next one is the top 3 list. This is an easy one, quick and easy. Top 3 things. It could be hobbies. It could be favorite foods, moments from the summer, and then just explaining why. So this has always been, I think, an easy one to kind of get done in the classroom. And you can add that tech feature to it by recording it or maybe making slides with it or,
Absolutely. I mean, there are very few kids that don't enjoy ranking something.
That's true.
What they like, what they love, what they dislike. I mean, that seems like and once again, if this is an opener, absolutely you can put in math content or social studies content. Yeah. But you are allowed to make it fun as well. Like your favorite type of candy, your favorite, anything. So very, very customizable.
I think a first year teacher tip would be, because I just thought of that, asking things like favorite vacation or top 3 vacations and they didn't go on vacation could get a little dicey in the classroom.
Yes.
Okay.
Be careful of the questions that you ask.
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
So too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a good tip.
So another one. Class profile and learning preferences using a FigJam or a Google Slides or any other type of presentation tool. So great for building community. Yeah. The student makes a small profile card. You can put their photo on it, fun facts about them, how they like to learn would be one you could maybe sneak in there to get some honesty about that. But once again, most students have no barriers in talking about themselves. Yeah. Well, I take that back. They may have a barrier talking about it, but they may be more likely to do it openly and honestly in a digital format.
And what's really cool is it's collaborative. So the whole class is working together. And those little cards you're talking about, it builds this like really cool, and that classroom community. I think this is one of my favorite ones. And FigJam was something that I wasn't as familiar with. I was thinking Jamboard. Yeah. But it's very similar, right?
Yep, I think so. Yeah. I think so. Absolutely. So by the way, we're giving you a lot of different tools here. So don't feel pressured to write all this down. We'll make sure that we have a comprehensive list for you in the podcast notes and possibly on our YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We'll link some of these in here because there's some great ideas, but it is a lot. All right, on to the next one. We've got Google Classroom Banner Quilt. So this is where the student designs a square in the Google Classroom with Google Drawings, and it creates this quilt.
This is new to me. All right.
Yeah, this is a cool one. It's kind of like if you're thinking about creating that banner in one of your Google Forms, like the theme of it, except they're creating it.
Gotcha. So very visual once again. Yes. If a new student comes in, there's an opportunity for that new student to do something to interact with the class and result. Okay.
And Google Classroom is a tool that that a lot of schools use, that a lot of classrooms use to connect the kids with each other, with assignments, with just even community. I did a lot of things in my classroom where we would have chat sessions on Google Classroom. So I think if they can create that banner quilt, it's just going to bring them together like a family.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right, another one, designing a locker. So
I love this
upper elementary and middle school allows students to design a digital locker with different kinds of images. So once again, the concept is kind of platform agnostic, meaning this might be something you do with Canva. Yeah. This might be something you do in a number of Google apps. So there may be different things that you want to be able to do. There's a lot of different platforms you could use for this.
Yeah. And I like it because it's for upper elementary and middle school. So not all the time your older students want to create the cutesy things, but designing that locker, it's a little bit more geared towards them.
And I've always noted that, to me, this defies logic, but high school students and middle school students, you hand them a physical colored pencils, they still like to draw. They still like to feel it. And in a digital format, I think it's even more likely that they'll want to engage. And you're blending
that creativity with technology and that the art of storytelling. There are a ton of templates out there that already have this locker template created. So you don't have to really go out and make your own. There's tons of free templates out there. So go ahead and check those out. All right. So the next one is icebreaker trading cards. So another creative way to get to know your students, making a card with their picture on one side and then a fun fact on the other. Again, you could do this digitally and print them out. So this is a cool one. This is a good one.
So you could actually make a physical card or a digital card and come up with a methodology. I mean, obviously, if it's a physical, they can share them. Okay, that is really.
And it's going to help us with the names. So if you and I both said we have a hard time remembering names, the face is easy. The name, a struggle. Yeah, I like that one.
I like that. All right, so. We are in a world where coding is a common reality. So for you coders, this is called a Me project, and you use the Scratch coding language to create a short animation about yourself as a student. So once again, I struggle with at what age is this appropriate, because it keeps getting younger and younger. Yeah. So don't hesitate or don't scoff at the fact that my students are too young for this.
Right.
They may not be.
Yeah. It's creative. It's STEM friendly. It's introducing them to basic coding skills and kind of right from the start. So if you want to dabble in something like that with coding, I think this would be a great way to get started.
Yep. Absolutely.
Very cool. This one is by far my favorite.
Okay.
So this is our last one we're going to share, but this is called Book Creator. And essentially it's a digital book that they're creating. So they can create a short story about themselves with pictures, drawings, audio. It really, they can get as tech savvy as they want to, or they can just do a basic book. But I love this one because, again, it's easy for them to use. There's a ton of templates out there, but they get to be creative and share their book. And then again, that presentation piece, like if you want to have them present it, they can present their book.
Yeah, I think if you start in week one with giving at least an opportunity to present, not everybody may take you up on it initially, but at some point in time, if you're even slightly lessening their anxiety when it comes to public presentation, I think it's a great, and Book Creator is an amazing application that's really, really good at giving them a very user-friendly tool.
It is. And it's really great too, like thinking of portfolios and having some of our older students develop those. This could be used down the road. So
right. So you come back in and you look at it, and you can, even as a student, you may see, I did this in August. Oh my gosh, look what I'm doing now in March.
Yeah.
So
it's
absolutely. Good. Okay. So here's your try this tomorrow tip. Whether you're a veteran teacher, whether you're you're in the middle of your career, or you're a new teacher, this is not about perfection out of the chute, and this is not how to take 10 things that we've shared from you and rush to implement 9 of them.
It can be overwhelming. Yes.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Pick one and do one well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't be an overachiever. Don't try to take this list and do all of them.
This is connection, not perfection.
I like that.
This is just see how it goes. And please keep in mind, if you've done this long enough, you know that things do not always work.
Right.
So if it doesn't work for you or for whatever reason, there's lots of other opportunities. I mean, I've always said that you have a teaching practice. You are practicing teaching. So what works well, you keep it, you
Right.
perfect it, you iterate it. If it doesn't work well, you try something else.
I think the one to start with, the easiest, is the
Okay.
top 3. That top 3 list, asking them 3 things that they, favorites or things they've done or things they like to do. That's an easy start. So if you're overwhelmed by this right now and you're like listening, thinking, I don't even have time to get my classroom ready, this is the first thing to start with, I think.
Yeah, and I think that also brings up another thing that we really haven't mentioned that is incredibly important, and I think the top 3 list is a perfect fit for this. When those students are sharing their 3 things,
Yeah.
you are allowed to share yours.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You are 100%. And I encourage you that, like, it makes you more human.
Yeah.
It makes you, I think more approachable when, even if it's as silly as then they're talking about their favorite type of ice cream, that if
Yeah.
theirs is mint chocolate, oh my gosh, that's mine too. Some
Building
kind
that
of
relationship.
connection.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Because
absolutely.
honestly, at the end of the day, if you don't have that piece of it and you don't build that relationship, I hate to say your year's over, but it's going to be a hard year. You've got to get
Yeah.
to know your students, and they need to get to know you. So I love that idea.
Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely. Helps build community, and
Yes.
it's just going to set you up in the right space to start off the year by having having that confidence that you know your students.
Absolutely. So yeah, it gives you interest, or it gives you insight to their interest, and I love that. That's a perfect way. Perfect way to wrap it up. Good job.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that wraps up episode 1.
Yeah.
So we encourage you, once again, if you want to try Digital Locker, try Digital Locker. If you want to try a student interest survey, try that. We just kind of mentioned that might be the top 3. It'd be a great entry point. But just remember, this is still about you. The technology
Yes.
is enhancing you. The technology is a tool that you add to your tool belt. It is not replacing you. So the strength and the odds of this being effective is based on the work that you're doing.
Well, great. Well, next time we are going to get into student voice. So helping kids kind of get their voice out there. Sometimes your louder students aren't always the ones that need to be, heard all the time. Some of your quiet students don't get the opportunity to share. So we're going to talk about how using tech to help those kids get their voice out.
Well, speaking of voice,
Okay.
I'm going to use mine now. Something that we are incredibly excited about.
Yes.
Something that's on the horizon, something we've been working on all summer and spring, to be honest, is the 3rd installment of Schoolwide AI Conference.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, November 4th, 2025.
Yeah.
Would you like to announce this year's location?
I can do that.
Okay.
We're very excited to announce that we will be at Hamilton High School. So I'm an alumni of Hamilton, so obviously I'm very proud of that. But no, we're really excited about this, and registration is opening today. So get in, register. Just like all these tech tools we've been talking about today, that's what you're going to see. So
One other thing to add, if as you're listening to this, you think, hey, I'm doing something extremely innovative right now
Absolutely.
in my classroom, not only do we want you to attend, but we would love to hear teacher voice in the form of presentations.
Yes.
So if you're interested in presenting at the conference, we'll make sure that you have access to see how to do that. We would love to hear from experts doing this right now with students. Please, this is high school and middle school, my world, but who do we also want to hear from?
yeah.
The elementary teachers. Yes,
Yep,
we
yep.
need to hear.
We need
to have-
everybody.
So please let us. So once again, Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, Hamilton High School. Details to come, but please, we'd like to see as many of you there at the conference.
All right. So we will see you next time. So until then, keep it simple, keep it connected, and keep it school-wide.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of School-Wide Download.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll
We'll see you next time.